It sucked, but I will be unpacking it. Um, I thought it was way too many intermissions, way too many breaks in between action. We was there to see the basketball. We was watching to see the basketball, and it wasn't a lot of basketball being played, mainly in the All Star game and the Rising Stars game. But let's start with Friday. Friday, I think, in my personal opinion, one of the most underrated days of All Star Weekend. You had the Celebrity Game and you had the Rising Stars game. Celebrity Game, one of my favorite and most underrated events because I like watching the Celebrity Game just because I want to see which celebrities can actually hoop. And they ruined it. It's already most of the times a pretty bad game because these are just regular people essentially that kind of suck at basketball for the most part. You would have a few standout celebrities here and there. We'd have had T.O. in years. We'd have had Quavo do his thing a little bit. Shout out the Secretary of Education with Obama, Arnie Duncan, who's the real GOAT of the All Star Celebrity Game. Kevin Hart came out not so long ago and said he's the GOAT of the Celebrity Game. He's not. He won 4 MVPs just out of popularity. Arnie Duncan was really the real MVP. Um, but the Celebrity Game was just bad this year, and I think they had Drewski and Cassinet pretty much were the stars. Terrell Owens was there again, but he looked way older this time. He was so old, he had no imprint on this game. So you had him, you had Shabuzi. Um, I'm trying to think of any other people that was consequential. But I think that was probably my main problem outside of them stopping the game for like shooting for an extra defender. They was doing like a little skills competition. Just let them play basketball. Like it was too much extra stuff, man. Just let the people play basketball. That's what we want to see. And we did see enough of that. So that was my main problem with Celebrity Game. It's too many stoppages in play, too many gimmicks, and all the gimmicks were corny. It's basketball. We want to see the basketball. So I thought that was bad for the Celebrity Game. They need more stars if I was to fix it. They need more stars in terms of actual famous people that are more recognizable, or maybe I'm just getting old. But I did like the Celebrity Game in terms of the roster because I feel like a lot of those people just wasn't real celebrities. They just keep it a book. I thought the game was bad because there was too many stoppages in play and too many gimmicks. I just want to see 4 quarters of basketball with celebrities who can or can't play. Let their entertainment come from that. So if I was grading the Celebrity Game, I give it a legit D. One of the worst celebrity games I've ever watched in terms of roster, in terms of actual basketball. Um, yeah. The light skinned dude that won MVP can't even remember his name. Ron or something like that. I can't remember his name. But that gets a D. Celebrity game. Now on to the Rising Stars. Rising Stars teams. You had Run TMC. They picked teams, and then you had Jeremy Lin headlining a G League team. Now the rosters, I really liked Chris Mullins' rosters. Um, Tim Hardaway had a solid roster. They played in the first game, and Chris Mullins' team won. It was Stephon Castle, Keontae George was pretty much the highlights on that team. I think they also had Dawson Connect, and I think like Trace Jackson Davis, Ron Dunn. So I like that team for sure. I thought that was the team I picked going in. All in all, because you had another team, Mitch Richmond team with the Thompson twins, highlighted by them. But the team was just, I don't know. These teams were bad because I like you the Thompson twin team. There was Mitch Richmond team, Tim Hardaway team. I think it was like mostly role players. Like you had like Hawkins. Um, I'm trying to think, but it was mostly like a role player type team. It was no true guy on that team. So Rising Stars was kind of a dud. Stephon Castle did get the Rising Stars MVP, and he did look good. So it was like, they eventually ended up winning the whole thing, and they got to play on Sunday night. But that the Rising Stars, it was not that great. If I had to grade it, I give it a C plus, even though it was some things I like from Castle. Um, yeah, bad Rising Stars games. So stoppages are playing that too. So the intermissions this weekend was absolutely ridiculous. So I did like that. So that's Friday night. So all in all, Friday night, you get a C minus for the celebrity game and for the Rising Stars game. That's Friday. Saturday, I was I ain't gonna study. I kind of had a feeling Saturday was gonna suck. I kind of had a feeling Saturday was gonna suck. So Saturday you had the skills competition, you had the 3-point contest, and you had the dunk contest. So let's start with skills competition. You had Team Spurs, you had Victor Wembanyama, Chris Paul. I'm doing this off the top of my head. You had Cleveland Cavaliers, you had Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. I think you had the rookies. It was Alex Sarr, Zachary Ricochet, and I'm forgetting a team. I'm sure. I think I'm forgetting somebody for sure. But whatever. Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell ended up winning. Oh, you also had the Warriors, of course. You had Draymond Green and Moses Moody. But Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell won. The biggest storyline from the skills challenge was Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama tried to cheat the system by not taking any shots. They ended up getting disqualified, and I think that was probably the most exciting part of the skills challenge. Um, I like the old version of the skills challenge where they would like have like an old player, they would have like a young player and like a women's player or something like that. I forgot how just the old skills challenge. Y'all remember when they would like take like a half court shot and do it was just different and I liked it more. It's been too many changes to most of these events and the changes haven't been for the better. But no, I didn't like the skills challenge. But I guess Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell they won. It was all right, I guess. I'll probably give it a C plus. If y'all catch my drift, not a lot of good grades, but I'll give it a C plus. Then you had the 3-point contest. The 3-point contest roster was kind of trash. I really thought the 3-point contest was gonna be bad, and it kind of was. I mean, it kind of was. So you had Dame, who's going for a 3P back in his home area. You had Buddy Hield. You had Darius Garland, Cam Johnson, Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, and Jalen Brunson. I didn't think the lineup was good for the 3-point contest at all. And excuse me for being low energy. It's early in the morning when I'm recording this, and I just woke up. But the 3-point contest roster, I thought a lot of those guys, outside of Buddy Hield, Dame, and Cam Johnson, these weren't guys that you would think of to be 3-point contest shooters. They were all pretty good, solid shooters, but 3-point contest shooters, no. I thought the lineup should have been something like a Grady Dick, a Jordan Hawkins, a Corey Kispert, like those type of guys. Duncan Robinson, um, Trey Murphy. I just thought the 3-point contest roster was kind of weird and wonky, and it kind of showed in the first round. None of them dudes, I think only like 2 people scored over a 20. Buddy Hield had a crazy first round. Darius Garland did really good first round. Darius Garland was my pick, and of course he sold in the second round. Tyler Hero, who barely made it into the last round, ended up winning the whole thing. Buddy Hield pretty much sold into the last rack. And if he would have made all the whole rack, then he would have potentially have tied it. But I thought that was a little interesting. The final between shootout between Buddy Hield and Tyler Hero, but Tyler Hero ultimately won. So it wasn't just super terrible, but a lot of those guys like and Cade Cunningham was in it. Like Cade Cunningham, Cam Johnson, Norman Powell, Jalen Brunson, Tyler Hero. Damian Lillard. None of those guys got over 20. And for you to be considered, in my opinion, to be a good 3-point contest shooter, you have to get 20. And it was like four or five or seven of the seven didn't even make, you know what I'm saying, 20. So I thought that was pretty bad. It was pretty bad 3-point contest. When usually 3-point contest is being pretty much the best event All Star weekend in the last couple of years. This one wasn't that good. So if I had to grade it, I give it a C plus. Buddy Hield's first round, time Steph Curry's 31 score. That was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Um, if I would have to grade the roster was terrible. I definitely would have wanted a better roster. That was like a C minus, but the final was like a C plus. So Tyler Hero ended up winning. I thought that was pretty cool. He ended up winning. He had a way better final than he had the first round, so I thought him improving, and he was hitting the starry ball. So I thought that was cool. Um, C plus for that. Shout out Tyler Hero. Uh, dunk contest. Dunk contest was absolutely horrible outside of Mac McClung. Shout out Mac McClung. He saved the dunk contest. He saved the dunk contest, but it still was bad because Andre Jackson, Modest Buzelis were absolutely just terrible, bro. Two of the worst contestants of all time. And Stephon Castle was good. Mac McClung was good. So I thought they finished pretty strong. That one dunk by Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle wasn't as creative as you would hope, but he still had some dunks. So he was still a solid competition for Mac McClung, who won easily. He jumped over a car. He dunked two basketballs. Over some dudes. He was doing some crazy stuff. He jumped over Evan Mobley, I think. Um, Mac McClung, he was actually really good. He was so good to the point where John Morant, Zach LaVine, Giannis, they was kind of making certain comments about them potentially doing it next season, which might be our talk job fuck around be heard. Let's just keep it buck. But my perfect roster for the dunk contest, I would like to see who would I like to see? Of course, Ant and Ja. But then who else would I like to see dunk contest? Ant Ja. I'm trying to think of somebody super athletic. Shaden Sharp. Has Shaden Sharp did the dunk contest? Ant Ja, Shaden Sharp. I'm trying to think of somebody else extremely athletic. And Amin Thompson. That's what I want to see. Ja, Ant, Shaden Sharp, Amin Thompson in a dunk contest. My perfect roster. Oh, but back to the dunk contest. Mac McClung won away easily. Stephon Castle was a slightly distant second, but he had some solid dunks. Andre Jackson and Miles Bazelis was terrible. They were missing. I think Miles Bazelis missed every dunk from his first dunk attempt. So it was bad. It was bad. It was bad for them too, for sure. But Mac McClung actually was really good, and Stephon Castle put up a decent enough fight. I think the dunk castle contest was probably the most exciting thing from the weekend. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'll give it a solid B. I'll give it a solid B. Shout out Mac McClung. Shout out Stephon Castle. Um, and that concludes Saturday night. So Saturday night, I give it a C plus. I give it a C plus. C minus for Friday night. C plus for Saturday night. And that was the skills competition, 3-point contest, and the dunk contest. Sunday night was absolutely garbage. Garbage. Sunday was garbage. I'm just gonna say it. Sunday was garbage. That competition style thing with all the intermissions for the All Star game, it was garbage. Everything about it was bad. Everything about it was bad. Shout out Steph Curry. You in the bag, of course. He was gonna end up with the All Star MVP, even though Jason Tatum probably should have got it. Shout out Jaylen Brown for his moments of defense. Kyrie Irving tried to throw some sauce in there. Vic actually tried. Shout out Wemby for actually trying. Like, bro, I'm hard on Wemby, but Wemby at least is like you can tell he's appreciative and he's actually trying to be the best player he can be. Shout out to Victor Wembanyama, but shout out Jaylen Brown, shout out Jason Tatum. Curry was cool. Shout out Kyrie. Kyrie was cool. Everybody else, Everybody else, I can't stand. I can't stand it. The format was all right, I guess, because you had Kenny, Chuck, Shaq. They picked like young guys, international guys, the old guys. Candace had the rising stars. It was all right, but it was so many intermissions. Sweetie, Too Short, E40, all the intermissions. They did. Y'all should did all that before the game. The Mr. Beast channel. It was all weird. It was bad. It was bad to me. Me personally, it was bad. Um, but shout out Stephon Castle. I feel like Stephon Castle probably had the biggest weekend in terms of a guy who's kind of popular, but now he's gonna be even more popular. Shout out Stephon Castle. Like I said, Steph Curry, he was the All-Star Game MVP. Jason Tatum probably should have won it. But all in all the All-Star game was terrible. It was bad. It was just I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't enough basketball. The format was all right, but the basketball was interrupted too much. You giving lifetime achievement awards. Kevin Hart was just annoying as fuck. Just he made the little joke with Cat, and Cat looked annoyed. Like, okay. Just it sucked, bro. NBA All Star Weekend sucked. Sunday night was the worst. Sunday night and Friday night was terrible. But Sunday, I'm gonna get that shit a C minus. Because some of the basketball stuff was all right, but it was so many intermissions. I don't remember the basketball like that. But yeah, if I give it an overall score, it was a C for NBA All Star Weekend, Friday through Sunday. Sunday was absolutely terrible. It was terrible. You get the best basketball players together in the world. And LeBron, a special shout out to LeBron for being a bitch. I hate LeBron James with everything in me. Dude sat out and he could have gave his spot to somebody else. Simple as that. Anthony Edwards, he sat out. He probably could have did the same thing. No Anthony Edwards, no LeBron James. We could have had Norman Powell and Domantas Sabonis. Two deserving guys who I like, who play. I don't like Sabonis, but he's good. But yeah, y'all let me know y'all thoughts about All Star Weekend. I give it a C minus. It was garbage, and they talking about All Stars, America versus the world. Like, I'm just done. Like, if y'all just can't play it how it used to be played. Maybe I'm too old because I've been watching the NBA for 20 years. I'm gonna be 30. Maybe I'm just too old, but I absolutely thought this was horrible. I didn't enjoy it. You had little moments, Mac McClung stuff, some Stephon Castle stuff, some Jason Tatum stuff, some Steph stuff, but all in all, it was kind of just a bad NBA All-Star Weekend, one of the worst I can remember in my 20 years of watching. And I couldn't imagine being a 12-year-old basketball fan right now because it was just piss poor, bro. But this is what you know about. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how y'all feel about NBA All-Star Weekend in the comments. But I'm gone.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can look comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.